Have you ever just looked around at the world, at all the conflict and the inequality, and just asked yourself, why? I mean, why, with everything we're capable of, do we seem so stuck in these same old cycles of exploitation? Well, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea that tries to get to the very heart of that question and maybe, just maybe, offers a way out. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to get a handle on this core conflict. What's being called humanity versus barbarism. Then we'll take a trip back in time to see how exploitation even got started. After that, we'll explore a totally different vision for the world and look at the inner work it takes to get there. And finally, we'll pull it all together with this big idea, Neohumanism. So let's get right to it. At the very center of so many of our problems today, there's this fundamental struggle. And it's not just about politics or money, it goes deeper. It's a clash between our natural ability to cooperate and the systems we've built that actually exploit that very instinct. Just take a look at this image. It really says it all, doesn't it? This desperate scramble, pitting everyone against each other for a limited piece of the pie. This is the perfect picture of what the philosophy we're exploring calls barbarism. It's a system that locks us into a constant rat race, even when deep down, we'd probably rather just help each other out. Now, let's be really clear here. We're not talking about barbarism, like in the movies, being uncivilized. No, this definition is about a very specific kind of social sickness. It's when one group or person profits by taking advantage of the cooperation, the humanity, of another. So to put it really simply, humanity is that amazing thing we do when we work together for everyone's benefit. And barbarism is the force that swoops in, hijacks that cooperative spirit, and funnels all the rewards into just a few pockets. These two are in a constant tug of war. And this isn't just some nice-sounding poetic idea. No, this is a deep economic and social argument. It's saying that the real engine of society, the thing that actually creates wealth, culture, and progress, it's not governments or big institutions. It's the relentless, productive, and cooperative spirit of the people who are actually laboring under these oppressive systems. It's their shared work, their humanity, that's truly building civilization from the ground up. So this sets up a fundamental conflict. On one side, you've got humanity. That's our amazing, innate ability to work together, to cooperate, and to create things that benefit everyone. But on the other side, you have barbarism. It's basically a system of extraction. So how on earth did we get here? This whole system of exploitation, it wasn't just inevitable. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? So let's rewind the tape a bit and see how a society built on private ownership even became a thing. Picture this. Before the system really took root, human life was often deeply communal. Things like family, working together, and your community, they weren't just economic units. They were where you found joy and connection. It all grew naturally out of people living and working side by side. So according to thinkers like Friedrich Engels, it wasn't one single event, but a whole series of shifts that basically dismantled this way of life. First, you get a new division of labor, and bam, class distinctions are born. Then, those big communal households start to break apart. Pretty soon, the idea of sharing land is gone, and suddenly, land becomes private property. And the single family is now this little economic unit forced to compete just to survive. Then, everything changed. The scholar Friedrich Engels points to this one crucial moment in history where a new division of labor literally split society into classes. Suddenly you have rich and poor, landowners and the landless. And this split just shattered those old cooperative communities. It ended the whole system of sharing and cultivating the land together that had held them up for so long. And this is what that looks like. This new setup, all based on private property, created this rigid top-down hierarchy. Society got reorganized into a kind of pyramid, which made it super easy to extract profit from the work of pretty much everyone below you. And the result of all this? It's kind of heartbreaking when you think about it. The very things that give our lives meaning, our relationships, our homes, our communities, they basically became commodities. Their value wasn't about connection or joy anymore. It was measured in dollars and cents. The most fundamental parts of being human got twisted. Things like intimacy, family bonds, community life, the things that give us joy and connection just for their own sake, they were now expected to produce some kind of profit. You can see this everywhere today, right? The pressure to turn your hobby into a side hustle, to build a personal brand. Even creativity itself becomes just another input for the market. But what if there's a totally different way to look at all this? This next part introduces a really powerful alternative to this whole system. It's a vision that's rooted not in private ownership, but in a shared inheritance for all of us. So check out this pretty radical countervision from the philosopher P.R. Sarkar. He's basically saying, what if the world's resources are like the air we breathe or the water we drink? They're our common inheritance. And from that point of view, the whole concept of private ownership is this artificial system invented by, as he puts it, selfish opportunists just for exploitation. And this isn't some idea out in left field. You see it echoed in other traditions too, like in the incredible humanism of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He made the case that when we truly, genuinely recognize the sacredness of every single person, that we're all connected, then exploitation just becomes morally impossible. You just can't do it. So this all begs a huge question, right? If this alternative way of seeing the world is so much more humane, so much more compelling, then why is it so hard to get there? What's really standing in our way? Well, it turns out the answer might be hiding inside each of us. And that leads us to this really fascinating idea that building a better world isn't just about changing laws or economies. It's an inside job. It requires us to actually grow specific inner skills that let us connect with each other on a way deeper level. So this framework suggests there are 4 core skills we need to build up. Think of them as the building blocks for a better society. First up, empathy. Really, truly valuing what it's like to be somebody else. Then there's shared meaning, the skill of finding that common ground. Third is individuality, respecting every single person as a unique, conscious being. And fourth, virtue, having a shared moral compass that guides us toward what's right. So how do these pieces actually work together? Well, let's start with compassion. Real compassion isn't just feeling sorry for someone. It's what happens when your empathy for them clicks with a real sense of shared meaning in what they're going through. It's that deep, connective, I get it. And it's the same thing with community, right? A real community isn't just a bunch of people living in the same zip code. It's built when we can truly appreciate everyone's unique personality, while also sharing a common direction towards moral virtues. It's about unity without conformity. But, and this is the huge but, there's a major catch. It's a real catch-22. The system of barbarism, through oppression and the trauma it causes, actively hurts our ability to develop these very capacities. It keeps itself going by preventing us from becoming the kind of people who could actually take it apart. Researcher Amy Hunter-Reese makes the case that oppression actually functions like a widespread trauma. It actively stunts the growth of these 4 exact capacities in both kids and adults that we need to overcome it. It's a vicious cycle. But when we do manage to develop these capacities, just look at what happens. You combine empathy and shared meaning, and you get true compassion. You combine individuality and virtue, and you get authentic community. And together, these are described as the real forces of revolution and civil society. They are the building blocks for a whole new world. We've talked about the problem, the alternative vision, the inner work needed, and it all leads to this philosophy called Neohumanism. It's presented as the path that integrates all of these pieces into one whole. So, what is Neohumanism? In the simplest terms, it's what a society looks like when its people have actually developed these inner skills we've been talking about. It's a philosophy that asks us to radically expand our circle of care, beyond our family, beyond our country, even beyond our species, to embrace the entire universe, both living and non-living. The whole spirit of neo-humanism is about moving beyond these little boxes we put ourselves in and embracing this huge, boundless love for, well, everything. Like Sarkar says, we are for the entire created world. It's a truly profound shift in how we see our place in the universe. Sarkar talks about neo-humanism as the next step in our evolution as a species. It's not just another ism to argue about. It's a totally new way of understanding our purpose, one that's big enough to actually solve the huge problems created by all those old, narrow dogmas. The core idea here is a truly radical expansion of our circle of care. Neohumanism challenges us to stretch our moral concern way beyond our family, our country, or even our own species. It's about including every single person, every living being, and yeah, even the inanimate planet itself in our definition of us. And this quote really shows how neo-humanism is more than just a theory. It's a practice. It's a feeling of boundless connection. Think about it. When you see yourself as part of this one universal family, the whole logic of selfishly hoarding resources just completely falls apart. It actually becomes irrational. And this right here brings us right back to where we started. Neo-humanism is the direct antidote to barbarism. I mean, think about it. If you genuinely see yourself as part of a universal family, selfishly hoarding resources at everyone else's expense isn't just wrong. It just doesn't compute. And we'll end on this, which is just a really powerful call to action. It's basically an invitation, right? To stop letting ourselves be defined by these old, broken systems, and to instead become the pioneers of a much brighter, more connected future. The question it leaves us with is, are we ready to welcome that new dawn?